Okay, folks, okay. That was a bad idea, alright? I admit, playing basketball in the sleet, not so smart. This is why I didn't go to Harvard, alright? JL4. Alright, Chip Carey back, part 2 of the AL Preview. We're taking a look now at Seoul Conference, alright? Oh, God. There's ice in my ear right now. Alright, game on. Now, when we last left off with the Manila Conference preview, I told you Mark Lee was playing Mark Lee. And no, Mark Lee wasn't playing himself. Mark Lee of the Ridgewood Vets is playing Mark Lee of Queens Elite tonight. Oh, gosh, I can't wait to see this happen. You think it's ever happened in the NBA? Something like a Michael Johnson playing a Michael Johnson? Probably. Well, this is a first in the DL, all right? So Mark Lee takes on Mark Lee, and Mark Lee's team is hungry. I'm talking about Queens Elite, all right? Not Ridgewood Vets, dummies. Dodo, stick with me here. Pay attention. Mark Lee of QE, these guys made the finals of the AL last season. That's right. They were 3-5 in the regular season, but they went on a magical Cinderella run, and they made it all the way to the chip round, where they barely lost out to those dirty dogs who decided not to come back this season. They wanted to go out on top. You see, that's how they do it. That's smart, actually, you know. Quincy and his beer drinking ways go out on top so they could just keep talking about the glory days. We see how it is, guys. All right. So QE, though, they got unfinished business. So they're back, and they are hungry, and they want to win this one, all right? And you know what? They'd really like to do it with a double E status going into the playoffs. 3-5 last season, just not going to cut it. That's what really hurt them in the end there, all right? You got one loss to give in the finals. At least, you know, you got a little wiggle room. They had no wiggle room. They had to rely on miracles. And miracles do happen, folks, but not time after time after time, right? It just don't happen all that often, you know. You can only win the lottery so many times. Jeez. All right, so QE, all right, Mark Lee is leading them, and he in his 12-point, is rather 11.8 points a game, or was it 12? I don't know, somewhere around there. He's going to come back, and he's going to look to pick it up a little bit. Because you know what the problem was last season with QE? I'll tell you what it was. I had a 3-5, other than the fact that Gene Kim was just around the corner with his torn Achilles. He's only going to be better, by the way, this season. They were too unselfish. They had nobody who really just took control and said, "Arr!" You know? They were like, you shoot. No, you shoot. They had like 4 guys averaging 10 points, right around there, 10 to 12 points. You know, that's all fine and good in college basketball and everything. But when you come to Dream League, you got to come correct, all right? You got to have bona fide 18, 19-point scorer. That's how it goes. And then you build off of that guy, right? I mean, I'm not talking you got to be a ball hog and shoot the ball like 30 shots a game. You got to have one go-to guy. These guys were so unselfish, everyone was go-to. And that's all fine and good, like I said, in high school basketball. But when you get to the Dream League, you just got to have some, you know, you got to grow some gonads, and you got to just be like, I'm going to take this stuff over, right? So Chris Yoon, Stephen Hong, Ace Watanabe, all these guys capable of being that man, right? It's just who's going to step it up, right? So Chris Yoon, obviously 12 points a game, 8.3 boards. Steve Hong right around there, near double-double as well. 11 points a game, 9.6 boards. These guys, you know, they got the moxie to fill it up. So QE will be there. They will be square, and they got unfinished business, like I said. So tonight, Mark Lee takes on Mark Lee, and we're going to see how those Lees fare, all right? All right, moving on from QE. We got Tri-State Invasion, TSIV. No, there is no hyphenated TSIV old school. No, there is no TSIV Indo-Pak collective. No, there is no TSIV actually I'm SKWD. No, this is TSIV period. We're going back old school. This was the first ever entrant in the Dream League under the Andre Lue guys, all right? TSIV, plain and simple. There was even a website once upon a time. I think it was like tsiv.org or something like that, right? Y'all look it up. You Google. You whatever you want. Dogpile, Yahoo it. It exists, right? So TSIV is going back old school retro, but there's no one retro about it on there, all right? There's some familiar pieces, but they ain't retro, all right? LJ Aguilo. LJ, and his little lefty J coming back in. I like LJ. You know why? Because that man's a Steeler fan. And I'll tell you what, Steeler fans, they know what's up, all right? They are the heart of this nation, all right? They're meat and potatoes, Steeler Nation. That's what I'm talking about, LJ. All right, so anyway, that's besides the point. We're talking about basketball here, all right? Not pigskin, not ice skating, not luge, basketball. All right, so TSIV got LJ, and they got the Palacioses, father and sons. You know, and here is where their downfall could be. I'll tell you what's up. All right, the Palacio kids, well, they're just kids. That's exactly what they are. They're still in high school. They got high school games. They got high school functions to attend. They got so many high school things that they might not even be able to make some games in the league, all right? That's what we're dealing with. Remember, when you're playing these guys, when they're dropping 20 on you, when they're blocking your shot, taking it from you. All right, they're kids playing a man's game, and they're acting like men. But they got kids' responsibilities, and that means, you know, going to prom, going to high school practice. So sometimes TSIV might not be a full complement of 5, you know what I'm saying? So we don't know how we feel about that. But at full strength, this team will be right there, and they will be square, all right? All right? Because not only do they have Mark Palacios, who was a AAA MVP at one point, he had a 6'5 frame at the age of 16. Goodness, if I was 16, 6'5", what I'd do with that skill set, with that God-given ability. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to all you fools now. Oh, my bad. My bad. You ain't fools. My bad. All right. Moving on. We're talking about basketball here, right? The reason I really like this team, Yogi Varanga. That's right, man. He played Dream League a couple seasons ago. He made a splash in his, 1.5 games he was here. Yogi is smooth, man. Smooth like butter. Dude know how to score, all right? A little while ago, man, before I freeze my burn off playing basketball outdoors, I talk about people put on this planet just to score. Well, Yogi does more than just score, right? But he was put on this planet to do a little bit of that. A little bit of scoring, a little bit of rebounding, a little bit of fancy diamond. This man he is the full complement, all right? Everything, he knows how to do everything. And if he could also come consistently, because, you know, like I just said, he showed up 1.5 times last time he was around, TSIV will be dangerous. Ultrally so, right? They will compete. Jose Medina, same thing. Another name who may or may not come. That's the thing with these guys. You just never know. LJ, get them straight. Steeler Nation knows how to come correct. All right, moving on. Last team in the mix, Gen Excellent. Gen X dropped to 0-8 last season, right? Now I want to take a little time and get on a serious point here. Gen X is the veteran team of the Dream League, all right? They've been around since the inception of the New York Dream League. And that my heart goes out to them for that, all right? GM Robert Chopin, man, this dude is just a warrior. He comes every season, all right? He's been there for the good. They won a chip once. He's been there for the bad. They finished 0-8 last season. He's been there all in between. He's gone through the Brandon Chucks, the Len Camdings, the Sung Mo Chos, the Danny Wangs, the Paul Oshimas, Dennis Yangs. Oh, wait, Dennis Yang is back again. All right, Dennis Yang was on their squad a couple seasons ago, dropped off face of the earth, did his thing with his life, whatever he was doing, came back last season, looked a little rusty, but he's still one of the elite guards. And because of that, I like what these guys might be able to do. I remember last season, they dropped Yaletown on their asses. Yaletown, RIP, out of the league, out of forever. George Lai, bye-bye. All right? Sorry, G. Yaletown's gone. Gen X busted up Yaletown in the playoffs last season. They had 0 wins, all right? They took on Yaletown, who was a 2 seed, and they beat them. They said sayonara. All right, so they got their first win in the postseason, and then they lost again. But, you know, that's besides the point. They had a nice little run in the postseason, becoming the first winless team to ever take out a top seed. So they are going to build off of that. And we're going to look for that because Dennis Yang, now he's worked the rust off, being one of the elite guards. He's going to, you know, he could bust it. He's going to look for Robert on the side. I don't know who else Robert got down low, but, you know, Chopin knows how to wheel and deal. That's what them finance people do. All right. So Gen X, back in action for the 15th consecutive season. And for that, they get a Purple Heart. That's what I'm saying. All right? So there you go. Those are the 3 teams comprising the Seoul Conference. And I need a haircut. All right. I'm out of here. Chip Carey, 2-2.